We all know that poor lifestyles, not exercising enough and eating a poor diet can lead to a range of medical conditions. But did you know that 40% of cancers are preventable and caused by just that, poor lifestyles? Obesity is now the second most common manageable risk factor for cancer development behind cigarette smoking. When we carry too much body fat, we hold on to hormones and substrates such as insulin and estrogen. A natural cell would automatically have a lifespan, so over a period of time, as the cell ages, it would be triggered by the DNA to kill itself off, so that a healthy cell can be born. When we develop cancer, this is prevented from happening, and too much estrogen and too much insulin and too much leptin, they can stop that natural cell cycle from occurring. They can cause old cells to proliferate and grow really quickly and form tumours, and they can also encourage the spread of an established tumour. So the more body weight some people carry, the more at risk they can be of developing certain cancers, particularly bowel cancer, endometrial cancer and breast cancer. They're kind of the three most prominently driven by poor lifestyles. What we also know is that obese people who have had cancer and maybe have been treated and are through their cancer treatment, they have a higher risk of their cancer returning, or indeed of establishing a new primary cancer. So it's quite important that we kind of keep our weight off and keep active. What we're seeing now is the most common types of cancers, which are your prostate and your breast cancers. Over 70% of people are living for 10 years or longer, possibly over 80%. So what we tend to see with these people is they're left with kind of a legacy of cancer, if you like. A lot of the medications that they take, particularly the hormone therapies, they really lower or remove their testosterone or their estrogen away. So the response to that, or the result of that, is significant losses in muscle mass, losses in bone mass, and quite often kind of mood swings and emotional effects. So of course, if you lose a lot of muscle mass, then your metabolism slows. If you lose bone mass, you're more likely to break your bones. And of course, Macmillan particularly are concerned about the psychological effect of people surviving cancer. There seems to be this quite dip in mood, and there's quite a lot of depression and anxiety centred around cancer survivors. So it's really important that we have people out there who can work with cancer survivors to get them fitter and to increase their muscle mass, to strengthen the bones, and we all know that exercise has a great effect on people's psychological well-being. It's not only important what we eat in terms of increasing cancer risk, but also how food is prepared. Superheated foods, which are quickly cooked and under high temperatures, they form substances called acrylamides, and acrylamides are carcinogenic and they damage our DNA. And I'm not talking about if you go to McDonald's and have a burger, you're going to get cancer. It's the level of exposure over the period of time. So if all you eat is McDonald's for 40 years, then obviously your risk is significantly increased. So the best things we can kind of do to keep our risk down in terms of our lifestyle is to stay active. I think brisk walking about 5 times a week is really good, and to do some kind of resistance exercise to keep our muscles strong. But I think really just staying active as we can, as often as we can, and sustaining that activity. It's about doing what we enjoy, it's about doing what we can do, what fits into our lifestyle, and what suits us best. There's no point trying to do something you don't enjoy, because you won't keep it up. And then on top of that, it's about eating the right foods. So nutrition's really important. Kind of stay away from eating foods which are high in too much sugar, too much saturated fat. We want to avoid eating processed foods as much as possible. try and reduce our salt intake, it's really important, and limit the amount of red meat that we eat. Try and go for more oily fish, which is really good for us, and maybe chicken if you want to eat meat regularly. And then trying to keep our vegetables and our fruits high in the diet so that we can get our vitamins and minerals in. And just try and relax, really. People are, I find, too stressed out these days. We're all so attached to our phones and our Instagram. We need to switch off, really. We're not designed to just be worried about who's contacting us all the time. When you go and work hard in your day or in your studies, you should go home and relax and try and turn your phone off, I would suggest.
Right.
No one's going to listen to that, though.
No, probably not.